You have felt it your entire life. A subtle gnawing sense that you are essentially different, music, from everyone around you. Not better, not worse, just alien. You watch other people engage in small talk, get excited about trivial trends, and, music, find comfort in the crowd, and you feel like you are observing a different species through a glass wall. You mimic their behaviors to blend in, but inside there is, music, a static, a disconnection. For years, you may have labeled this as anxiety, as depression, music, as a social defect. You are wrong. What you are experiencing is not a pathology. Music, it is an evolutionary divergence. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, spent his music life studying the outliers, the individuals who possess a psychology that refuses to, music, fit into the geometry of the mass mind. He called this the path of individuation. Music, if you are watching this, you are likely one of the few who has inadvertently stepped onto this path. Music, it is a lonely road. It is a dangerous road, but it is the only road that leads, music, to a genuine self. By the end of this video, you will understand why your isolation is not a defect, but a, music, qualification for a level of existence most human beings will never touch. Music, before we dissect the signs, you must understand the environment you are living in. Music, Jung argued that the majority of society lives in a state of unconscious participation. They are not living their lives. They are being lived by the collective. Music, they download their values, their fears, and their desires from the herd. Music, they are safe. They are warm. They are asleep. You are awake. And because you are awake in a world, music, of sleepers, you terrify them and they exhaust you. The rare personality is not rare because it is special. Music, it is rare because the psychological price of maintaining it is so high, music, that most people go bankrupt trying to pay it. It requires you to hold tension, music, to face darkness, to walk without a map. If you recognize these following music signs, stop trying to cure yourself. You are not sick. You are simply waking up. Sign 1, the burden of the shadow. You see the monster in the mirror. Most people, music, live in a pristine delusion of their own goodness. They believe they are kind, moral, and harmless. When they do something cruel, music, they rationalize it. I had to do it. They deserved it. They, music, project their own capacity for evil onto others. The government, the criminal, the enemy. You cannot do this. The first sign of the rare Jungian personality is that you are painfully surgically aware of your own capacity for malevolence. Jung famously, music, said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. You have met your shadow. You know that under the right pressure, music, you are capable of violence, of betrayal, of cold manipulation. You do not hide from these thoughts. You examine them. You sit with them at 3 a.m. This makes you heavy. It makes you serious. While others are floating on the surface, music, of good vibes only, you are anchored in the deep reality of human nature. Consider the story of the saint who was asked why he was so holy. He, music, replied, I am not holy. I just keep my demons on a shorter leash than you do. The average person is a house with a manicured lawn and a locked, music, basement they never open. You are the one who lives in the basement. You know what is down there. This awareness creates, music, a specific kind of distance between you and others. When someone tells you, I would, music, never do that. You look at them with pity. You know they would. They just haven't been tested, music, yet. You know that morality is not the absence of a monster. It is the control of one. Because you have integrated, music, your shadow or are in the process of doing so, you possess a weight that others lack. You don't get easily, music, offended because you understand the darkness from which the offense comes. You don't virtue signal, music, because you know the virtue is often a mask for a deeper vice. You are, music, dangerous not because you are violent but because you are honest. And in a world built on polite lies, honesty is an act of war. Sign 2. The repulsion of the collective. The antimime. Look at the way a school of fish moves. They turn, music, instantly in unison without a single word spoken. This is the collective unconscious, music, acting in real time. It is a survival mechanism. To be in the center of the school is to be, music, safe. To be on the edge is to be eaten. The second sign is that you have a biological visceral, music, repulsion to the center of the school. When a trend sweeps the world, your immediate instinct, music, is suspicion. When everyone agrees on a political narrative, a financial hype, or a social movement, music, your stomach turns. Why? Oh, you feel a physical need to step back and observe. Jung, music, wrote, "The mass crushes out the insight and reflection that are still possible with the individual." Music, you are not a contrarian for the sake of attention. That is just another form of attachment. You are a contrarian by nature of your perception. You, music, see the strings. You see how easily people trade their sovereignty for safety. Music, this often manifests in your life as a history of walking away. You walked away from friend groups that became toxic. You walked away from jobs that demanded your soul. Music, you walked away from ideologies that demanded blind faith. You have likely been called aloof, arrogant, music, or difficult. Let them call you that. The Greeks had a story about Cassandra, a priestess cursed, music, to speak the truth but never be believed. She saw the fall of Troy before it happened, but the masses laughed at her. They wanted to believe the wooden horse was a gift. She knew it was a trap. You are a modern Cassandra. You see the trap in the music gift. You see the manipulation in the marketing. You see the rot in the institution before the walls crumble. This separates you. It, music, makes you feel like a ghost haunting the living. You watch people get excited about things you know are empty. You watch them worship idols you know are false. Music, the mass man finds comfort in consensus. If 1,000 people agree, he feels 1,000 times more secure. You find terror in consensus. If 1,000 people agree, you wonder what truth they are all ignoring to maintain the illusion. This, music, trait keeps you safe. But it also keeps you cold. You cannot merge. You cannot lose yourself in the party, the riot, or the congregation. You are always watching, always the observer. This is the price of your autonomy. Sign, music, 3, the intuitive time traveler. Pattern recognition. This is perhaps the most unnerving sign for the people around you. Music, you have a non-linear perception of time. Jung identified intuition not as a magical power but as a function of the unconscious that processes data too fast for the conscious mind to track. Music, it perceives where things are going, not just where they are. You know how a relationship will end on the first date. Music, you know a business partner is untrustworthy before they have stolen a single dollar. You know exactly what someone is going to say 3 sentences before they say it. To you, the present moment is transparent. It is merely a seed containing the future. Music, this makes you incredibly difficult to lie to. When people speak to you, you aren't listening to their words. Music, you are listening to their intent. You hear the insecurity behind the boast. You hear the resentment behind, music, the compliment. You hear the desperation behind the smile. It's like having X-ray vision in a world of people wearing lead masks. But this is a double-edged sword. Music, because you see the end, you often struggle to begin. Why start the friendship if you see the betrayal? Why, music, take the job if you see the burnout? You suffer from the curse of the final frame. Most people live in the first act of the movie. They are excited about the setup. Music, you are watching the third act. You are already processing the tragedy, the twist, the resolution. This creates a sense of detachment, music, that others mistake for depression. Why aren't you excited? They, music, ask. We just signed the deal. Because you see the fine print that isn't written on the paper yet. Jung suggested that this, music, personality type often acts as the shaman or the prophet in ancient tribes. They were the ones who lived, music, on the edge of the village. They were feared and respected because they dealt with the unseen. In the modern world, there is no village edge. Music, there is only the office, the internet, the city. So, you are forced, music, to walk among people who operate on sensation, what is right in front of them, while you operate on intuition, music, what is lurking behind the curtain. You are playing 4D chess while they are playing, music, checkers. And the hardest part is that you cannot explain it to them. Intuition does not have a language. Music, it is a flash, a knowing. And when you try to articulate it, you sound crazy until, of course, you are right. Music, again, sign 4, the alchemical paradox, holding the tension of opposites. Music, the average mind is binary. It likes black or white, good or bad, friend or enemy. It seeks to resolve, music, tension by choosing one side and destroying the other. The rare personality, music, is capable of something Jung called holding the tension of opposites. You contain multitudes. Music, you are ruthlessly logical yet deeply emotional. You are scientifically minded yet drawn to the mystical. Music, you crave solitude yet understand human connection better than the extroverts. Music, you are a savage and a monk wrapped in the same skin. This is not confusion. This, music, is wholeness. Jung believed that the goal of human development was not perfection but completeness. Music, to be complete, you must house your own contradictions without letting them tear you apart. Think of the ocean. The surface can be raging with a storm, but the depths, music, are absolutely silent. You are the ocean. You can feel intense, music, anger, yet observe it with total calm. You can be in a chaotic environment and hold a core, music, of absolute stillness. This confuses people. They want to put you in a box. Music, are you an introvert or an extrovert? Are you a skeptic or a believer? Are you tough or sensitive? And you want to answer, yes, you are a paradox. And because you are a paradox, you act as a mirror to others. When an angry person meets music, your calmness reflects their rage back to them. When a fake person meets you, your authenticity, music, exposes their mask. You don't have to do anything to unsettle people. You just, music, have to be. This ability to hold opposites gives you a power that is almost extinct in the modern world. The music, power of nuance. While the world screams on social media, picking sides in a tribal war, you stand in the middle, seeing the truth in both and the lie in both. You understand that the criminal is a victim of his past, but still, music, deserves punishment. You understand that the leader is brilliant but also, music, a narcissist. You do not collapse the wave. You ride it. But, music, this is exhausting. It takes massive psychic energy to hold two opposing, music, truths in your mind at once. F. Scott Fitzgerald said, "The test of a first-rate intelligence, music, is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time, music, and still retain the ability to function." Most people function by ignoring half of reality. You, music, function by carrying the weight of the whole. Sign 5. The search for the prima, music, materia. Depth over breadth. Small talk is not just boring to you. It is, music, physically painful. It feels like your brain is being suffocated by cotton. You do not care about the weather. You do not care about the sports game. Music, you do not care about the celebrity scandal. You are obsessed with what the alchemists called the prima materia, the music, root matter, the essence, the core truth. You want to know what someone fears most. You want to know what keeps them awake at night. You want to talk about death, about the universe, about the psychology of power, music, about the nature of consciousness. This makes you intense. How many times have you heard that word? You're too intense. You think too much. Just relax. Music, but you cannot relax into the shallows. You are built for the deep. Music, this is why you likely have very few friends. You cannot maintain relationships that, music, are based on surface-level maintenance. You would rather sit in silence with someone who understands you, music, than chatter for 3 hours with someone who doesn't. Jung noted that the individuated person often sheds, music, relationships as they grow. This is not because they are unloving, but because the vibration of their existence, music, has changed. Imagine you are tuning a radio. Most people are broadcasting on FM 100, popular, loud, music, easy to find. You are broadcasting on a shortwave frequency that only a few receivers can pick up. When you try to lower your frequency to music, match theirs, you feel like you are dying. You feel the persona, the social mask tightening around your throat. So you stop trying. You accept the solitude. Music, you realize that one conversation with a mind that matches yours is worth 1,000 nights out with the crowd. You are digging for gold in a world that is, music, satisfied with plastic. Sign 6, the neurosis of the divine, music, the crisis of meaning. This is the sign that usually sends people to, music, therapy. But the therapist, unless they are truly skilled, often makes it worse. They try to fix you. Music, they try to get you to adjust to society. But Jung said, "I have frequently seen people become neurotic when they content themselves with inadequate or wrong answers to the questions of life." You are not depressed in the clinical sense of a chemical imbalance, though it may feel like that. Music, you are suffering from a spiritual malnutrition. The 6th sign is that you cannot survive on bread and circuses. Most people, music, are satisfied if they have a job, a spouse, a house, and a 2 vacation. Music, Their existential hunger is easily sated. Yours is bottomless. You look at music, the successful life, the corporate ladder, the suburban prestige, music, the accumulation of shiny objects, and you feel a wave of nausea. You don't just find it boring. You find music, it terrifyingly empty. You have a neurosis of meaning. If your life does not have a transcendent purpose, music, a deep burning. Why, you begin to wither. You physically lose energy. You become lethargic. You might even get sick. Music, this is your psyche's way of going on strike. It is screaming at you. I will not participate, music, in this charade. I will not spend 40 years moving paper from one pile to another just, music, to die comfortably. Society calls this being unadjusted. Jung called it the call to adventure. Music, the ancient myths speak of the hero who falls ill or becomes lost, music, until he accepts the quest. You are that hero. Your symptoms, music, your anxiety, your dissatisfaction, your restlessness are not flaws. They are the summons. Music, you are the person who quits the high-paying job with no backup plan because your soul was rotting. You are the one who destroys a perfect relationship because it felt like a cage. Music, you destroy the good to search for the true. This makes you dangerous to the status quo. Music, the status quo relies on people being content with mediocrity. You are the glitch in the matrix because you demand meaning in a world that only offers, music, utility. Do not medicate this hunger away. Do not numb it with alcohol or scrolling, music, or cheap dopamine. That hunger is your compass. It is pointing you toward the only thing that will ever satisfy, music, you, the creation of your own myth. Sign 7, the architect of synchronicity, the dialogue with the universe. The final sign, music, is the most difficult to explain to a rationalist, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Music, you experience synchronicity. Jung defined synchronicity as an music, a causal connecting principle, meaningful coincidences that cannot, music, be explained by cause and effect. You think of a person you haven't seen in 10 years and they call you 5 minutes, music, later. You are wrestling with a difficult philosophical question and a, music, book falls off the shelf open to the exact page that answers it. You have a dream about a symbol and the next day you see that symbol painted on a wall, music, in a city you've never visited. To the average person, these are just weird coincidences. They shrug them off. To you, they are a language. Music, you live in a dialogue with reality. You understand that the inner world, your mind, and the outer world, matter, music, are not separate. They are mirrors of each other. Unus mandus, one world. Because you are individuating, music, because you are becoming who you truly are. The universe seems to organize itself around your path. Music, this doesn't mean you are special in a narcissistic way. It means you are aligned. When you are on the wrong path, you face resistance. Doors slam, music, shut, keys break, systems fail. The world feels like, music, it is fighting you. When you are on the right path, the path of your soul, music, the lights turn green. The right people appear. The resources manifest. You have learned to trust this, music, invisible current more than you trust the visible logic of society. You make decisions that seem insane to, music, others. Why are you moving to that city? You don't know anyone there. Music, I just have a feeling. And that feeling turns out to be right. This is the ultimate sign of the rare personality. Music, you have stopped navigating by the map drawn by others and started navigating by the, music, stars you see in your own head. If you recognized yourself in these signs, you, music, are likely exhausted. It is exhausting to be the one who sees the shadow. Music, it is lonely to be the one who cannot merge with the crowd. It is painful to carry the burden of meaning in a meaningless world. You have probably, music, spent years thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? Music, stop asking that. Normal is a statistical average. It is not a measure of health. In music, a sick society, being normal is a pathology. Jung said, the sole purpose of human existence, music, is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. You are that light, music, but a light that burns also consumes. Here is the truth. You are not suffering because you are broken. Music, you are suffering because you are resisting your function. You are trying to act like a villager when you are the shaman. Music, you are trying to be a sheep when you are the shepherd. The pain comes from the friction between who you are and who you are pretending to be. So how do you stop the pain? You don't. You transmute it. Phase 1, the death of the persona. The mask, music, must die. You must stop apologizing for your intensity. Stop diluting your truth to make it palatable for people who have no taste for reality. Music, if you are too much for them, let them go. You are not for them. You must ruthlessly eliminate the relationships, music, the habits, and the careers that force you to wear a mask. This will feel like a death. Music, is a death. It is the death of the nice guy, the good girl, the pleaser. Let them die. Were never you anyway. Music, they were just defense mechanisms you built when you were a child to survive a world that didn't understand music. You don't need to survive anymore. You need to live. Phase 2, the integration of the monster, the golden shadow. Music, stop fearing your dark side. Your aggression, your capacity for manipulation, your coldness. These are weapons. A warrior without a sword is not peaceful. Music, he is harmless. A warrior with a sword who chooses not to use it. That is peace. You need your shadow. You need your aggression to protect your boundaries. You need your coldness to cut, music, ties with toxic people. You need your skepticism to navigate a world of lies. Music, take the monster out of the basement, put a leash on him, and make him guard the house. When you integrate your dark side, you stop, music, being a victim. You become formidable. And strangely, people will start to respect you more. They will, music, sense that you are dangerous and therefore your kindness actually matters. Phase 3, the magnum opus, the great work. Jung believed that the energy of the rare personality must be channeled into creation. You cannot just be. Music, you must do. You must build something that reflects your inner world. It could be art. It could be a business. It could be a philosophy. It could be a family culture. But it must be yours because you see patterns others miss. Music, you have solutions others cannot find. Because you feel pain others ignore. You have empathy others lack. Because you know the darkness, you can lead others through it. Music, your neurosis is just unchanneled creativity. Your anxiety is just, music, unchanneled power. Give it a form. Write the book. Start the movement. Music, build the empire. Do not do it for the money. Do not do it for the fame. Do it because if you don't, music, the energy will turn inward and destroy you. You might think, why would nature create people like me? Music, why create people who are so sensitive, so isolated, so difficult? Music, because the collective is blind. A society composed entirely of normal people, people who follow rules, blend in, and ignore the shadow, music, is a society marching off a cliff. History is full of examples. Nazi, music, Germany, Soviet Russia, the witch trials, the financial crashes. These were not caused by outliers. They were caused by the normal majority following the herd into madness. Music, you are the evolutionary brake pedal. You are the one standing on the edge of the music cliff, screaming, stop. You are the one who senses the predator before it attacks. You are the immune system of the species. Music, you are designed to be apart from the tribe so that you can see the tribe clearly. Music, you are the mirror that shows society its own face. They will hate you for it. They will call you a heretic, music, a traitor, a madman. And then when the walls come down, they will look to you for the exit. This is the burden. This is the glory. Music, you are not alone. You are just rare. There are others like you. We are scattered. We are quiet. But we, music, are watching and we are recognizing each other. The next time you feel the sting of isolation, music, remember the eagle flies alone. The crow flies in a murder. Do not envy the crow. But knowing this, music, is not enough. Understanding your nature is only the first step. The real danger is what happens next. Because once you, music, accept that you are an outlier, you face a new temptation. The temptation of arrogance. The temptation to withdraw completely, music, into your own mind and look down on the sleepers. If you do that, you, music, fail. You become the villain of your own story. The final test of the individuated person, music, is not to rise above humanity, but to return to it. To bring the gold you found in the darkness back, music, to the village, even if they don't understand it, even if they don't thank you. Music, how do you do that without losing yourself again? How do you walk in the crowd without, music, becoming the crowd? That is the art of the magician. And that is a lesson for another time. Music. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. Music. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss, music, publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the music, most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Music, subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join music button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Music, most won't. That's the point.